Birmingham is falling. People are feeling disconnected, and the youth are dying for Niash, and nobody seems to be happy. But is that really true?
Hello? Wait, say less. Alright, so Birmingham's bankrupt, yeah? Really? And you want me to interview people? Alright, say less. Let's go.
Okay, so my name's Rajab. I am leader of the Liberal Democratic group on the council. I'm a councillor for Acox Green, where we are now, and I've been a councillor for a total of around 20 years.
And I want to ask you, do you know what happened in Birmingham that made it bankrupt?
So I think it's just important to clarify that in case people are concerned. The direct cause of it is basically the failure of the council to comply with equal pay legislation. And effectively what happened was that in 2017, we had a bin strike, the rubbish wasn't being collected, and the way the council decided to resolve that strike was to give refuse collectors, which is overwhelmingly a male profession, enhancements to their pay and conditions, which they did not give to other professions employed by the council, many of which are female dominated. So there is a pay inequality, a pay unfairness, which allows those professions that have been underpaid compared to the bin men to sue the council for that difference. And that potential liability, we are told, as of the end of March this year, was of the order of 650 to 750 million pounds, and that it's rising by between 5 and 14 million pounds a month until it is resolved, which the council are saying they can't achieve until April 2025. And that total bill then is not, the council cannot meet that from its own reserves. So therefore, that causes the problem that we're talking about now.
With Roger's forensic insight into the topic, we want to take our question onto the streets of Birmingham and find out how aware our youth are about bankruptcy in Birmingham.
So, do you guys know what happened in Birmingham that made it bankrupt?
Not fully, no, because we're quite new to the city. We've just moved here for uni, haven't we? So we don't fully know everything that happened, but we saw it all on the news and we were all talking about it before we came.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get some mandem on this innit, so let's fucking go, bro. We're going to a pub. I don't drink, so you don't judge me. Oh, it says use the other door. Nice one. Guys, we're recording a little documentary. It's about bankruptcy in Birmingham. Would you guys like talking about it? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let's fucking go. So
is that people do fucking modern day slavery.
Yeah, let's go. So basically, I want to ask that. Do you know what happened that made Birmingham bankrupt?
Pretty much the industrialization, I feel like, honestly.
Yeah. Well, did you know that Rishi Sunak said it wasn't the government's job to bail out the council for its financial management? How would you respond to that, guys?
That's just wrong, because the whole point of the government is to help. It's denying the help when it's kind of
they're making the country worse, they're making it better, basically. Yeah.
They're underfunding certain cities for whatever reason, and I studied politics at A-level, and I can tell you, when it comes to stuff like this, you just can't trust the government, especially when it comes to funding, because their attitude towards funding is they'll do what benefits them, and they'll do what benefits London as the big city. So when it comes to cities like this, they may not fund it as much and pay less attention to it.
No, I don't have anything to say.
Well, during the PMQs, if you guys don't know what that is, that's the Prime Minister question time during the whole Westminster stuff. Rishi responded saying that Labour in Birmingham are failing hard-working people because this is a Labour-run council. He basically said they bankrupted Birmingham. We can't let them bankrupt Britain. As young people, do you think he's right?
But it's central government's job to supply like local government with the funding, and with PMQs, like all these MPs that are coming from their local constituencies, they're the ones that are trying to tell the Prime Minister and tell his cabinet to do all these things, and they're just not listening. So it is essentially central government's job to do, like, to sort all this out, not their job.
Well, just to add on information from that, some awareness, the Birmingham Council do receive funding, but they've just misspent the money that they've received. So what do you guys think that is right by saying that they've just like mismanaged the money that they received?
I just think they need to stop attacking each other, really, and start like
They need to
offering
work
solutions.
together. The government together, 'cause otherwise there's no, like, you got to have the collaboration for it all to work, because like what one person wants is obviously not going to be the same thing if you've got to have that like communication.
If legalizing drugs like weed, at least with nothing too strong, would be available for the community, I feel like the crime rate will go down a lot. Considering that the amount of young kids that are going into prisons and stuff because of just having like 2 grams of weed on them.
No, 100%. So we're not really here to kind of discuss that, but Birmingham City Council made a direct contribution of £184 million, whilst it was £760 million in debt. How would you respond to that?
I'm not the Birmingham government, I don't know.
And not knowing is the problem. Back at our dream factory, we asked Roger whether the council could recover from this and what effects it would have on us, the youth and the paying adults of Birmingham.
No, well, the council will recover from it, but the process of recovery will be extremely painful for people, particularly for people reliant on council services, and also for people who pay council tax, which obviously is a large proportion of the city, because it's likely that part of the recovery process will be an increase in the council tax beyond what you'd normally get each year.
But do you think will the council's recovery come through sacrificing the existing services they provide, i.e. school funding, housing, waste collection, and road development?
So in the very short answer is yes, but there is an important distinction between some of those services. So some services the council provides are statutory services, so they have to provide them by law, and those will not be cut. There are other services like housing, where the whole housing budget, the whole housing finances are ring-fenced, so the council aren't allowed to touch them. The money that comes in through rents people pay to the council cannot be used for other things. So in that sense, the housing services are reasonably well protected against this issue. What that does mean is that the cuts are more concentrated in those services that the council are allowed to touch, and they'll be more severe in those areas. But if you're looking at particular issues like, is your house, are the repairs on your house still going to be made? Those should still carry on.
It's great to feel reassured by blunt honesty, but I want to point my finger at someone and blame them. Has this situation been caused by the Conservatives or Labour? Let's hear what a business in Digbeth thinks.
Going in, I can only talk for around Digbeth area, where we've had the tram works going for a long time now, and it doesn't seem like it's getting any further, and it's causing a massive problem for businesses in the area. And I think the only way they're going to be able to do that is cutting existing things, because they're not getting anywhere with existing things as they are. So this is just going to take a bigger hit on it already.
Well, who do you think is to blame for this financial management? Let's get just a little political here. Do you think it was the Conservatives or Labour?
Definitely Conservatives, but that's a personal opinion for me. But
let's get back on the road and see what 2 Southeast Asian lads thought about the situation.
Well, it doesn't matter whose fault is this. We have to work on it. If that Labour or the Conservative, it doesn't matter. But how we gonna take out, Birmingham from that situations? So, as a citizen or for them, for everybody. They have to work on it to take out Birmingham from that situation. It doesn't matter who is responsible for it. So the first thing is to take out Birmingham from that situation. It doesn't matter who is responsible for that.
Who do you think is to blame for this financial management? I know you're a politician, so this I don't know if you'd be able to kind of give me a proper insight. But do you think it's the Conservatives or Labour? Because the people that I've been talking to in Birmingham, they're always talking about Conservatives. It's Conservatives to blame, and many people have been saying that. But this is a Labour-run council, so what's your reply to this?
Yeah, if your question is why has this particular crisis happened, that is the fault of the Labour-run council. There are other things that I would blame the Conservatives for, but the specific requirement to issue the Section 114 notice, which people in shorthand call effective bankruptcy, that is to blame for the leadership of the council.
Well, do you guys think overall the Commonwealth Games was a mistake?
I don't think it was a mistake, but I know they made a lot of the apartment complexes and a lot of flats for the athletes to stay in, like the athletes' village. And now they're all empty. Like no one's living in them flats in Perry Bar. Like a lot of waste. It's pretty much a waste of money.
I think homeless people could move into there, couldn't they?
The idea for the Commonwealth Games was to bring in tourists to Birmingham, especially them flats complexes in Perry Bar. But they weren't done in time for the Commonwealth Games, so they couldn't even use them.
I want to ask you, do you think the whole Commonwealth Games was a bit of a waste of money when the local council is now bust?
I think that can be an aspect of it, but it was really nice to have it here. To put a lot of investment in the city. I see the changes that's happened. You can say it did kind of mess us up because we've gone in bankruptcy now, but for the future to see, I think it was a good idea.
So I just want to ask, I just want to mention that they actually spent 160 million pounds on direct contribution, and they were 760 million pounds in debt. What do you think about that?
Okay, that aspect of it, that kind of really think why they've done that. But I think they probably thought they would have made a bit more back from that. So it is a lot of money to spend though, just on the one games. But I think, like I said before, man, it's good for the city though.
And I want to ask you, did you go to any games?
Yeah, actually, I worked at Commonwealth, at Alexander Stadium. And I know they spent a lot of money trying to rebuild that stadium. It was really nice. Good people, good vibes. Last summer was nice. It was nice.
Okay, and what are some of the things that you didn't like about the Commonwealth Games?
Well, in retrospect, it clearly took a lot of the council's project management capacity away from dealing with issues and problems that were underneath the surface.
And do you think the Commonwealth Games was a mistake?
No, the Commonwealth Games wasn't a mistake. It's not paying people fairly that's the mistake, and that's why we've got a problem now. And that was a decision that was taken in 2017. Once you took that, whether or not the Commonwealth Games happened, we would have been in the mess we're in.
To wrap up our day on the streets of Birmingham, we finally asked what people thought about our favourite city.
I want to ask you, what are 2 positive things you can say about Birmingham?
I'm not sure where to start, to be fair, but it's a nice city to live in. It's nice and it's an active place. People are polite around there.
That's pretty cool. I've only been here
great nightlife.
Yeah, great.
Banging nightlife, yeah.
It's a very diverse city as well, which might contribute to the lack of
Very
funding. But
diverse,
I'm
it's
just
very good.
saying.
It's very good.
Would you like to say anything?
Mate, I think there's a lot of low funded areas in Birmingham, especially all the flats and slums, and I think a lot more money needs to be put into there, to be honest. Instead of just the inner city limits, spending a lot of money on the mechanical bull. When you look after the people a bit more.
I really like the way the people are here. It's a very honest place, and
I love Birmingham. Regardless of all of its faults, I'm not originally from here. I'm from Staffordshire, but Birmingham is my adopted home, and I just love it's mainly the people, because it doesn't matter about councils or governments or anything like that. The people are all good people in Birmingham, and I think we all pull together regardless of what happens around us. We'll all figure a way out, and the businesses in the area, such as Red Brick Market, always come together, and this is a collaboration of lots of little businesses, so it's great. So any kind of little businesses working together, and people actually in Birmingham, the actual residents of Birmingham, we'll all look after each other anyway.
Well, about Birmingham, I would say it's second biggest city of the UK, and the other best thing about this city is that it's in the center of the UK, United Kingdom. I would say mostly England. You can easily travel all these cities from here, and there is it's really diversity in this city. There is so many Asians in this city, so many from so many other countries as well. So I really like Birmingham. It's a nice city.
Do you see Birmingham changing for the better by any chance?
I can see that over the past few years it's been getting a lot better. I see a lot of investment getting put in the city. Yeah, it's getting nice. From when I was growing up, it looks a lot better than what it was.
Not anytime soon.
There is potential. Eventually.
It's the second city, so there's so much potential.
Yeah.
Nurture that potential. It can go two ways.
And how they go around it, yeah.
They need priority city. There's just a lot wrong with it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's going to be a long process for lots of different things to go on, but I think Birmingham's got a really bright future ahead of it. Although there's a lot of bad things going on at the minute, I think it's got a really bright future regardless.
Well, in this, in the past few years, COVID was, so I don't think so it's going to be. Yeah, but we have to work the government and also the public have to, work on this to, better this city more better.
Yeah, okay. And one final question. Are you happy with life in Birmingham?
I'm a glass half full person, so I'm always happy to be in Birmingham and enjoy the things I talked about in Birmingham, while at the same time, doing my best to tackle the problems and ensure that those problems don't stop us being successful in the future.
Yeah, I live a pretty peaceful life around here. I don't live too far from the city centre. It's a nice place to live. Not too much problems around here. The areas are clean.
Are you happy with life in Birmingham?
Yes. Yeah, but one thing a bit disappointing sometimes, it's about the city is not very clean, so that's all. Yeah.
And as this documentary is part of the Happy Docs collection, are you guys happy with life in Birmingham at the moment?
Yeah.
I haven't found that many flaws.
No, I think we've been alright so far, yeah.
It's just you can't walk down the street by yourself.
No, that's been our first rule. No one walks on the road.
Oh yeah, that's why we're in such a big group.
Yeah, but again, if the homeless weren't on the street,
due to the council,
be fine, wouldn't it?
Regardless.
Okay. So, and the most important question here is, are you happy with life in Birmingham, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, like I said, I love Birmingham. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's got its flaws, but it's one of them places. It's still my home.
And it's my home too. Searching for answers had led me on a quest to connect dots, whilst also educating those who I came across. Now, as we both become enlightened on this journey, we hope that we all contribute something to make our home a better place for all.